All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again, wherever you're tuning in from, whether it's LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or the webinar page. Excited to be hanging out today with my friend Kevin Roberts, and we're going to be having a fireside chat talking about a lot of fun stuff. So if you've got any questions along the way, leave a comment. And if you get a wild hair and want to hop in at some point, maybe we'll do that too. How's it going, Kevin?
Yeah, it's going good. It's the end of the week, Friday for me, so I'm in chill out mode right now. So time different wise, just for you. It's like 9:30 p.m. for me right now. So I am in full effect chill out mode, end of the week. I've done everything I needed to do this week. I've accomplished 80% of the stuff I needed to do this week. Yeah, so now it's just relaxation and getting ready to play some video games after this to fully relax. And well, I say relax, but it's going to be a high stress video game, but it's relaxing high stress.
Which game?
At the moment, it's Overwatch 2.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
downloaded Arc Raiders, but it's very grindy, and I haven't had a ton of time for games lately. So it's funny
Mm.
how I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Maybe I'll hop right in, and it's like, nope, it's a roguelike, and you lose everything if you do it
Yep.
wrong.
Yep. No, Arc Raiders isn't for. I wouldn't say it's for me. It's just that since I've transitioned from console to PC gaming,
Mm-hmm.
I've lost like all of my friends and people who I normally game with. So now playing with new people, my trust, I have trust issues. Okay, because I play Overwatch. Okay, and Overwatch, for people who don't know, it's a hero shooter team based game. So it's
Mm-hmm.
5v5 or 6v6, and you can either be, and the role is in a 5v5 is one tank, two DPS, two healers. And in the 6v6, it's more or less a free for all, so you can pick as many roles as you want, but it's locked at two tanks. So you can have two tanks, um, three DPS, and one healer. And I main heal. So, as anyone who plays video games, healing and tanking are the two most stressful role because the people who die a lot and the people who complain a lot are the DPS. Because all the DPS wants to do is run around and murder everyone. And it's like when they have a DPS going 1v6 against a team and screaming like I need healing, be like, dude, you're one against six other players. I'm not gonna come and heal you, then you're gonna die. Yeah, so it's stressful, but again, it's fun. It's fun.
I
Yeah,
feel like
so
that's kind of like how the tools and tech we use go too. It's like we see one process and we're like, ooh, I can optimize that process. But then the process of going in to rescue that one process surrounded by six enemies, then we could just kill all our other processes.
yeah, I know. I mean, it's like I have a running joke now, like when it comes to video game. I believe everyone does not see and experience a video game the way how the other person see and experiences the video game. Because again, like with the 1v6 example, when I
Mm-hmm.
when I asked the DPS in chat, why are you going in 1v6? He's like, oh yeah, no, I had my ultimate move. Be like, yeah, but a tank, you are going up against the tank that has a 1500 health shield plus he has like 350 health.
Mm-hmm.
So it will take all of your ultimate move just to kill that one tank. And there's a second tank plus two DPS plus two healers. So unless you're cheating to put out a million damage per hit, your ultimate move cannot kill six players. Six players at
Mm-hmm.
full health. So, but that is like, do you understand how to play the game? It's like, yeah, I understand how to play the game. I've been playing for years, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you're doing stuff that doesn't seem like you understand how the game works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like that gives me trust issues, like a lot of trust issues.
Makes sense. Dropped
Yeah.
you a note for sidebar because I'm new to this, but anyway, um, no, that makes perfect sense. I think it, it's funny, like just my brain is connecting weird dots. It kind of reminds me of how like people we talk to say that they do the equivalent for the tech they use, but they just like dump all of their personal data into, for example, ChatGPT. So it's like, do you know where that data is going
Mm.
besides where you think it's going? And
Yeah.
is it going to really accomplish all six of those tasks, or is it going to just create leaks in the boat? And then, more water is going to leak in from other places because now it's not as secure for your online existence or whatever. So,
Yeah, and then also again, and then to flip that question now, it's like the problem you're trying to solve with Chat GPT, does it need all of your personal data?
I mean, that's the funny question because I haven't used it in a year and a half, and I was a power user when it first came out years ago. So, I
Mm.
mean, that all depends too, because I hear now there's like enterprise level subscriptions where it's guaranteed that your data's triple lockdown, whatever, etc. But we can't afford 4 figures a month unless we're some huge company that's buying the enterprise plan. So I think the tricky kind of rug pull is that these tools are really easy to use. Like if you have a Windows computer that has Windows 11, there's a Copilot button on the bar, or on the keyboard. So people think because it's within view, it must be as secure as the rest of the canvas they work in, which
Mhm.
maybe is a lot more secure. So,
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Because again, with the whole, I try my best to keep up with AI news, but it's evolving so quickly that I can't keep up with everything instantaneously. But I do know that security is one of the big issues when it comes to AI. And
mm-hmm,
I don't know why everyone is just glazing over the security thing and they just want to use the new shiny AI but that's out or the AI thing that's out. And like you said, you give it all of your personal information and stuff, and then wonder why is there, and then you start seeing weird transaction from your bank account and it's like you don't connect the dots. Oh, this is because I gave that shady AI company all of my details and now the company shut down. But it's like you said, where does the data go?
mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So
Kind of reminds me of like other companies that do the genetic stuff, like where you're from, and then entities that are big data just buy those when those companies go under. So it's like, wow, they have your genetic data now. Whoops. So,
exactly, yeah. So yeah. So even stuff like that is like, as much as I want to do a DNA test, I refuse to do a DNA test because again, my pockets are not deep enough to guarantee my data is not going to be shared. And even if my pockets is
mm-hmm.
deep enough, the company still cannot guarantee me that the data is not going to be shared because
Or
everyone,
breached. I mean,
yeah,
breaches still happen. So, yeah.
exactly, because everybody has their number.
Mm-hmm.
So even like for us who are slowly becoming business owners, we have a responsibility as well for our clients to protect their data and stuff. But again, once, like example, if Google was to approach us individually, we may sell our company to Google with all of the data. Because again, Google, they offer us our number that we have in mind. And we was like, you know what? This is enough money
Mm-hmm.
for me to retire comfortably. I can travel the world, live stress free, be in good health, um, and don't have to worry about anything else for the rest of my natural life. Then yeah, of course I will sell the company. But what does Google do with the data? You don't know that, and then you can't pass that information on to your clients. So
Mm-hmm. I saw an interesting thing relating to that in relation to soda drinks and like how these, let me see if I saved the screenshot. I thought it did. But basically there's drink machines by Coca-Cola that have a big screen and then you select from hundreds of different flavor options.
Mm.
Like it's basically like a web of different sodas and then a web of different flavors and another web of decisions. Well, that's like data gold.
Mm.
So what I learned yesterday, I think I found it. Nah, almost. Anyway, point being, what I learned yesterday was that they take all that data from every soda machine that has the user interface like that. And now there's a camera above it built into the machine. They watch your eye tracking as you make decisions and as you hesitate and as you do whatever. And then they log exactly what soda, then flavor, then this, then that you do, even how much ice you use. And they aggregate it into this big lump and then they train their brand on it. Traditionally, that wouldn't have used AI, but now it's like, oh, there's the pattern. Everybody loves vanilla right now, so we're going to push a vanilla cherry Coke because that's a mix that we didn't think about before. But we literally have gaze data from people staring at these screens and hesitating over this, but not that. So I don't know. The data side of me is like, that's so cool. The other side of me is like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, no, yeah. I always find those types of stuff interested as well. Again, yes, it would have taken a group of humans maybe six to figure that out from just having a look at the data and like if they're able to track how long it takes for you to press from when you start pressing the first button, how long it takes you to press the next button, then the next button, then the next button before you click buy. Um, a group of humans would have taken them maybe like almost a year to figure that out. So rather than they rolling out the oh yeah, let's push the cherry vanilla flavor next week because everybody's been buying for the last 2 weeks. They had needed to wait till next year. So, like in that instance, it's a love hate relationship with the AI. In that instance, it's like yes, it's useful for going through that mountain of data and finding the patterns really quickly. And then also that's useful for the company to then use that pattern to increase their sales to make more money. But then how many humans the AI is going to get rid of from doing that task?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit that a lot of people just ignore or just glaze over or just said, oh yeah, well then it's the company's responsibility to teach the people to use the AI. Be like, yes and no.
Yeah, I think it's a shift personally. I think it's going to do more shift than replacement. So, like, hey, you used to do this type of thinking in your work, but now you'll do this type of thinking and use this process. Here's how you do this process.
Hmm.
Versus like, hey, like I'm Willy Wonka, the old one. Like, hey, you don't need to screw the caps on the toothpaste anymore. You're fired. Like,
Hmm.
I know there's probably going to be some percent of jobs like that. But I think in most cases, it's going to be like when I took biostatistics for my environmental studies degree, I was like, oh God, math. But it ended up being more about the concept and applying that concept with the software we would use out in the real world. So, like next week, I'm sitting for my American with Disabilities Act ADA coordinator exam. And that certification is open book, but it's like really hard questions. But the whole point isn't whether or not you know the answer, it's whether or not you can find the right answer when you're out working in the world. So I think
Oh, okay,
I'd
right.
like
Yeah,
people to be in the same mode with AI, right? It's like
mm,
you don't have to know the exact answer. You have to know how to cross check what is true and what is not. You have to already be an expert, whether it's through lived experience or just being on Earth or whatever,
mm,
to kind of pick out the patterns like we were talking about earlier. So it's like, hey, that doesn't read like me. And really, I don't think we sent, people in Cheeto spacesuits to the moon. It's like we've got to have a little bit of that human ingenuity as kind of the baseline litmus test, I guess. So
hmm
otherwise, it does a really good job at fabrication, even if it's mostly true. If there's one little thing that's off, then like I remember when AI answers for Google search first came out about a year ago, and the natural history community, because again, environmental studies background, like the mushroom group I'm in just for studying mushrooms, not like psychonauts or anything like that, just literally studying mushrooms. They were like, oh God, this is going to kill people because AI on Google search result, top of the search above actual factual, was, yeah, that mushroom's fine to eat, like gourmet edible. And it was like a deadly one. So that's just a perfect, and I know there's been comics since, and the comics have been like, somebody, Far Side style line drawing of somebody laying in a hospital bed in a coma. And then the people talking next to the bed are like, yeah, they said ChatGPT told him it was safe to eat. And he's like on his way out. So
I, see,
what happens when they get when the bot gets a hold of the genetic data that you mentioned earlier too? Then we're really cooking.
see, my thing is, we can't really put all of the blame on AI. Some of the blame have to come back to the human as well. It's like,
oh sure.
okay,
I mean,
right.
nukes don't scare me because of Terminator robots. They scare me because of humans.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Because it's
Walking
like,
Dead, right? That was that whole like that was a decade ago or whatever when that came out. But before I saw the show, I hadn't read the comics, and I was just like,
mm,
"Oh God, this zombies are going to be freaking scary." Nope, the humans are scarier. That
yep,
kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It would be interesting to see if I'm able to track that when us human beings all decided that accepting one answer is the right answer rather than us cross-referencing answer and doing our own research to make a to come to a decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
like
it's like a
that's what I do when I use. Yes, exactly.
skepticism and acceptance
Yep,
delta almost.
exactly. It's like,
Interesting.
okay, this is the way how I explain to people who don't, like some of my friends who don't use AI as much as I do. I say that I treat AI and online in general like if it's April's Fool's Day. I don't believe the first three options or answers I get straight away. I always cross reference something. I check my brain
Mm-hmm.
knowledge to see what I can remember. And then also I reference and ask someone who's an expert in that thing, hey, I'm trying to do XYZ. This is how I'm thinking of approaching it. Is there a more streamlined way or a less technical way of doing it or something? And they can either give you, either they confirm that the strategy you currently have, yes, is the correct and safest way to do it, or here's a faster way, but it will give you more setbacks because you have to prototype and experiment a lot more compared to the other way. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I don't understand what happened to us humans and taking the first answer as face value, to be quite honest. It's more taking the first answer as face value rather than questioning the first answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when I use my teams, my AIs, um, I have it set up in a way that even if I agree with it, it will then ask me clarifying questions based on what I just agree on to make sure that I understand that I know what I agreed on. And then
Mm-hmm.
based on my answers, it will then give me a different answer and then ask me to say, okay, because you said this in the clarifying questions, this new answer is more suited to that.
So it's like show your work in mathematics plus choose your adventure in reading for like the old Goosebumps where you could pick a different path at the bottom. So once
Yes,
it has that
exactly.
additional context, the compass kind of shifts and
Yes,
offers new branches you can pick.
exactly. Exactly. Because as a ex designer, I know for a fact that people don't know what they want. They would say is like, You will go to the supermarket saying, okay, I'm going to buy chicken, pasta, cheese, and a bottle of bolognese sauce, and I'm going to go home and make pasta bolognese with some chicken bits in there. That's the recipe that I have in mind. You get to the supermarket, you get bombarded with all of the colors and information and stuff and whatnot, and then you walk out
Mm-hmm.
with four pizzas, a rotisserie chicken, three different flavors of ice cream, and two huge packet of chips, and two bottles of Coke, and that's your evening. And then you get home, and your partner or whoever it is at home is be like, "Where's the? You said you're gonna cook me pasta. Where's the pasta meal?" And it's like you forgot like what you went in for. So yeah, again, humans, we don't know what we want. Even if we know what we want, unless we have someone else asking us five why, like why we want that, um,
Mm-hmm.
then even if we get the thing that we want, we wouldn't be happy because we are not 100% sure that that is what we want. I really hope that that makes sense for
I think
anyone
so.
listening and stuff.
Something coming to mind when you say that is I have a friend on LinkedIn who is a classic animator, has lived in California proper, has worked with the big studios, big names, whether it's Pixar, Disney, you name it. They've worked with many different people. And they reshared someone else's post and basically said, hey, this other person's post hits the nail on the head. The post was this: I'm a logo designer slash animator slash whoever. I was designing a character for an upcoming whatever TV show, movie, app, game, and the client wanted another variation. So this person said they put it through ChatGPT, had them create another variation that was simpler than the hand created character on step one.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the client liked the second one. And not only did they like the second one, they completely scrapped using the first one in any way. And that was essentially the thesis of the post was like, yeah, they went with the second option and didn't even use the human originated art that the person spent hours to do. So my friend's reshare was essentially saying like, yeah, we're cooked. This is crazy because I've done this proper. We still do it proper for many things, but when I see this dot dot dot, it's like, oh
Mm.
god. So because people essentially preferred what the machine had, morphed, and they just didn't. They just cut the human part of the equation out at the end of the equation, even though they used it in the beginning of the equation, which is the weird part. So
Okay. See now my design brain is switching on, and I've already made a few assumptions about the post. Okay. First assumption, I'm gonna say the two images that we use were full color images.
I'm not sure. I don't. Just for quick reference, I don't think they shared the media, but that's a good point to wonder about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's like the rule we have in the design world when presenting clients with with work you've done so far. Never show
mm-hmm,
the client anything in color. Because anything in color, the client assumes that, oh yeah, oh, the image is finished. We're like, no, this image is highly pixelated. It's just that I'll smoothen the lines so that it will not look as pixelated as it would normally look, just so that
mm-hmm,
people have an idea of how the finished product would look. Um,
mm.
yeah, but see, again,
Here's a twist. Wow. Okay. They it was actually my friend that posted it, not a tertiary. Um, I'll check in with him later, but I'll give the gist without saying it word for word. But his post essentially said, "Well, it finally happened. Was working on a major thing, and one of the biggest things I've worked on in the while. They needed a small animated sequence and wanted a character designer. I was handed that person who's the expert they were handed a ChatGPT image to start and then was told to make it different, make it your own. So the artist used that starter plate from GPT that they gave as the client. The artist spent hours finessing, getting it just so with their style, waited weeks to get notes back, and then, you know, was told that they got clearance from legal to use the original GPT image that he was given as a boilerplate instead. No need for further work, and that was what the director wanted, final say. So his point was, what are we doing as a society? What's the end game here? Replacing every human until we're all homeless. I just don't get it. If major Hollywood films with a budget, proper budget, don't see the need to work with real artists, what hope is left? He says, is there any hope left? But I ask the question, what hope is left? So yeah, I didn't know it directly impacted him. I thought it was somebody he knew, but it's really interesting that they gave him a boilerplate character that somebody, I mean, let's be honest, they were probably like, going to the bathroom when they made the first character, like very second afterthought kind of effort. And then he goes and pours his craft into it. And then they just ghost him for weeks and end up going with the original boilerplate piece of crap kind of thing. So interesting. Yeah, but I know where you were going with it too. That makes sense. So
no, again, it's the curse of fast media. That's how I see AI. It's a very throwaway idea. It's like, I want to do this. Give me a dancing cowboy on a horse going through the rainforest, and then you get it, and then you're like, I don't know if I want it.
Yeah, and I think
on to the next idea.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And I also think that like people are really quick to hop on the water train. Like, look at all the water you're wasting. I agree. And it's like you're already on a really big social platform, whether it's any of these that we're currently streaming to. Like, check your privilege kind of thing, because you're already using water too, So it's really funny how people kind of see through their own filters they put up, but then they put up other filters when it comes to how they use it. Like, the viral AI content that has just slop to it, essentially. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people in my circle like get a kick out of that. And I'm like, oh no, you're kind of perpetuating the problem, by liking and wanting more of that. So I don't know.
Again, it comes back to human nature. We don't know what we want. And when we get the thing that we really want, we don't end up wanting it in the end. Because we need to go through so many decision-making hurdles to get what we really want. And when we get it, it's like, I know that this is going to be useful for me. I know that this is going to make my life easier. But because you went through those painful decision-making hurdles, you're like, yeah, I'm a bit tired now. I don't know if I want it anymore, type thing. And as I was spoiled for choice.
Is that on your side?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, you're good. I thought it was me. I didn't know if I did something.
Yeah, let me set that to vibrate. Yeah. Yeah, no. As a friend of mine that's watching the live and is trying to give me tips.
It's all good. Yeah. What are they saying?
Yeah, no, it comes back to our choice. Too many choices.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because again, what's the rule in sales? The rule in sales is either give a customer a choice of 1, 2, or 3, no more than 3. If you have more than 3 options to make a decision, you're gonna take way too long you wouldn't make any decision.
I saw another funny comic and it was like, so I made my client's logo, it's done. And then they were like, and then I spent 2 hours purposely making a worse logo so I could give them 2 options and they would obviously see the better option. And then they were like, guess which one they picked? Literally the one they spent hours trying to make look like crap to get the client to understand the first one was the best one. So I think that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, no, I've been in that situation before. I've been in it. Yeah, it's. But again, that's a yeah. That's from my experience of being in that situation. That was my fault because I didn't trust my design skills enough to only present the client with just here. I've created the perfect thing for you. This is what you
Hmm.
said you wanted. You said you use these colors, use this typeface, use this kind of image style. This is what I've created. This is the best that I've created. Here it is. But because I
Hmm.
didn't trust my design skills, I create wasted time doing another version, a slightly worse version, um, and the client ended up choosing the slightly worse version. And I was like, yeah, I can relate. I can relate.
It's interesting. I think I've I don't know, I've had some moments where stuff doesn't get from A to B, and I can't get into details, but like the clients always the client always has the best intention, but then like what we were talking about earlier, whether it's, color contrast for people in your situation, or whether it's like someone covering their lips while they mumble and I can't read their lips, or whatever else. There's accessibility, but then there's security, and then
Mm,
there's efficiency, and then there's like maintenance and scaling. And I think a lot of people see like, oh, people like Kevin or Matt could make a solution for us. They just see the endpoint, which isn't a bad thing. But then like I've had projects get hung up on the security step, and then the project just like sunsets, which is, it's okay, it is what it is. But I'm like, listen, I can't, depending on the situation, like I want you guys to be exactly where you need to be for your security, generally speaking, because leaky ships and all that jazz. So I don't know. I think the further we get along with technology, the more people as individuals are going to have to know thyself. Because once they know, like what I teach for my corporate stuff is we all think, learn, and communicate uniquely, TLC. And we need more TLC around TLC. Um, and it's interesting to see how that trickles up from individuals to departments or teams to entire companies or company cultures. Um, because then like enough bees start talking about the patterns they see, and the hive is going to have to shift, kind of thing. So um, I hope that people take the same thoughts into effect that like people like you and I do when we think about accessibility. I hope the average person takes security through the same lens for when they're picking up these tools, because I've heard some horror stories, and it's
yeah,
like
same here as well.
like
I've heard this here as
like I
well.
haven't messed with Moltbot and I don't intend to, like I don't know about you or if you follow that distantly, but people are
Yeah, I did.
basically giving a backdoor key to their whole digital
I know.
life, and it's like, what?
I know. I'm.
Is that for the next episode? Because that's a whole ball of wax in
Oh,
itself. So
again, we cannot blame the software. It's not the software's fault. It's us humans' fault.
yeah,
Again,
it's the
common
system
sense.
and the social, the system and the social influence or social pressure.
Exactly. Again, it comes back to common sense. Okay.
I mean, that's part of why I like this live stream vibe that I'm trying out and leaning into, because there's not all these added layers that reduce the common sense factor. It's like it doesn't have to be perfectly polished. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be so automated that you don't touch it at all. It needs human touch points, and
Yep.
it needs to be imperfect.
Yep. Exactly. It's like what I learned from one of your friends. What was it? We just need to get it good enough to move on.
Yeah, Theo,
Yeah. Yeah.
Gitmo, good enough to move
Yeah.
on.
Exactly. Yeah. And if everyone starts embracing the good enough to move on rather than focusing on perfection, we'll well, at least for in my case, because I am special. I realize I'm special because I'm a philomath. So that means I like learning, but I like learning in my unique way. Um, so because I like learning in my unique way, and I'm a generator, I'm a pure generator, meaning that I have a very vivid imagination. I can imagine things in three-dimensional, and I can then take that imagination apart, change pieces, and put it back together. So for me, A/B testing and prototyping is extremely fun, and I do it extreme until I spent like about 4 hours with my business strategist. I did not know that me thinking in 3D, rearranging, taking the 3D image in my head apart, changing parts, and putting it back together, and then using that to solve the problem I'm trying to solve, and quickly do, then quickly build a prototype, and A/B test, and then make changes based on the data I get back from the A/B testing. Until I spent 4 hours with my business strategist, I didn't know that was like some sort of magical special ability. I just assumed that's how every designer and everyone creative thinks and works and problem solves. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
no. She was like, no. Like, the average person needs at least a week to do like what I did in 4 hours. And it's like,
She's
well,
just like, you're a wizard, Harry, essentially, right?
exactly, more or less. And I was like, well, I do this every day. So you're
Mm-hmm.
saying that I'm working a week ahead of everyone on a daily basis. And she was like, yeah, if you focus for a couple of hours, yeah, you are. So, okay. So now with that knowledge, now with AI, now I am going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, me
And
too,
all of
but
it,
I'm a hermit. Like, and that's part of my battle and
same here
why
as
I wanted to
well.
try this is because it's like I'm getting so much done, but it's almost like I partially exist online now versus being showing up, you know? So it's like, oh, okay, how can I share this without stepping on my foot if it's like a private project or IP that I haven't trademarked yet or whatever, but not be a perfectionist and start building in public, quote unquote. Because we, like you're saying, we can build it in an hour depending on what the thing is. So,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I'm exactly the same. So I've started again, getting it good enough and then moving on. And then
mm-hmm.
putting stuff out in the public. I've started posting more. And then eventually, as the weeks goes by as well, I'll start being more out in the public eye and stuff like that. And see how that goes.
till
That
someone till someone tickles our hermit crab legs, then we go and suck back into our shells, right?
Yep, yep. And then I go back into the workshop. I do some more work. I come out with a shiny thing for that person. I
Mm-hmm.
show it to the world. Everybody gets amazed, and then I go back and continue doing what I'm doing. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm liking it because it's fun. Um, and I'm making it a big point of it has to be fun. Yes, I want to have a successful business, but I don't want to be a burnout business owner. I want to have fun doing what I'm doing, teaching people, using my framework. Yeah, even that sentence, using my framework. The fact that I have a framework, yeah, it still baffles my brain.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You
so
used a keyword too. You said burnout, which I'm gonna share more details on soon. Because that's something for myself, I realized was a major bucket of theme. I thought it was, I mean, and it still is these other things, but I thought it was primarily accessibility. I thought it was primarily technology, but honestly, it's primarily like prevention and recovery of burnout because I didn't realize that I'm just in a constant cycle of some kind of burnout.
mm,
And that's something now that I know how to screen share on this, I feel silly for earlier because I really wanted to share it earlier. But that's something that I was talking to Lauren about because I was like, there's probably different types of burnout. And that's where, I mean, there are, but I was just pondering on it and I was like, oh, maybe there's like sensory versus semantic versus schedule versus, some of these other types that we don't think about as much, like system burnout and the tool,
Yep.
like too many tools and,
Yep. Exactly.
I don't know.
Too many tools or too little tools as
Mm-hmm.
well. Yeah, no, they're all valid points. Yeah, because you know what? I would say yes, I had burnout of being a designer,
Yeah.
and once I got brave enough to admit to myself that I am no longer a designer, then everything after that was smooth sailing ish.
Mm-hmm.
Life was better after I admitted that to myself out loud. And yeah, yeah, I can happily say that I'm not a designer for other people. I'm a designer for myself right now. Will I be a designer for clients? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
in the future, but they have to pay me a lot of money for it.
Yeah, and I think I'm on your thought plane for that too, in the sense of like I'm designing for a more inclusive world, not a more inclusive culture at one company or a more inclusive goal at one department. Like
Mhm.
that's not really the mission for me,
No,
but
it's not.
I get
No.
what you're saying. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all. What's the way? How? Hang on, I'm trying to remember how someone described me one time as a world builder,
mhm.
because of my color blindness and my dyslexia. It's like, yes, I want to change the world, but in order to do that, I have to do it one business at a time
Yeah. Well, and
until.
that kind of got me into like, yeah, what do we use to do that for ourselves?
Hmm,
And then what do we use to like get out of that situation? Like preventative versus, alleviating it. So, because if we don't, then we end up getting these shutdowns and all that jazz. So it's like, I don't know, it's interesting to think about.
yeah, no. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it's also harder to. It's like from your earlier life as well. It's like what I was saying. Once you name the thing that is hindering you, then the power balance comes back into your hands, and then you become in control. So until you shift the power balance and naming, because if we again, it's like, all right, imagine this. Okay, as a kid, I was scared of the dark, as with most kids. But want to realize, oh, all the funny shadows and stuff I'm seeing in the dark has to do with the shadows that's already there, plus my imagination. And then again, like I said, I have a very vivid imagination. So those two combine means I see a lot of weird stuff when it's pitch black. But again, as a child, my brain couldn't comprehend that. All I just know that no, it's in the dark. There's a lot of stuff moving around, and I don't like the stuff moving around because it's bigger than me. So then, when I grew and I got bigger and I read more books and I expanded my mind and got more understanding and stuff, then I realized, oh, okay, no, it's just the shadows of the stuff that's there, and then there's my imagination that's filling in the gaps. And then once I realize that, I'm be like, okay, then yeah, then I am no longer afraid of the dark. So then I shift the power balance back into my hands that I have control over. So now that right now, if you also have a blackout, my first instinct isn't to get scared. My first instinct is, where is my phone? And do we have any candles in the house? And where are the candles? Or where is my torchlight? So it's like my brain automatically goes to, okay, I need to find stuff in order to help me see to move around the house safely. rather
Mm-hmm.
than rather than be scared. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's that power shift to get out of that. You see, I don't want to call it a rut, but to break the pattern.
Yeah, I've got an example too. So last October, funny enough, October 1st, um, and I love all animals. I've always had a challenge with spiders because of my family not, loving them as much for, growing up in subtropical Florida and having huge spiders sometimes. So fair warning for anybody watching live or replay. Wanted to share a couple quick pictures. But yeah, so where I'm going with this is October 1st, this happened, and I started to look outside my window here, and unfortunately, there was this little friend up here by the locking mechanism above the
Okay,
portable unit, and it was this
cool.
huge huntsman spider. And
Let's
granted, I
okay.
know they can be much bigger, but for somebody who isn't the biggest fan of spiders, that was kind of a big deal.
Hmm.
So you'll notice there's some squishy foam along the top right here. And that was because I quite literally was watching him try and scuttle in through the crack. And I wasn't too happy about that because yeah, he's freaking huge. So, but point being, I didn't just like grab a can of poison and spray him. And if anything, I kind of challenged myself to learn to be present with it and not have it bother me as much, knowing that it was behind the glass and that there was foam at the top and it couldn't just get me. And it's
Hmm.
not even a deadly spider or anything, it's not like it would kill me even if it landed right on my face, which, oh my God, I hope not. But point being, the rest of the month, all these other things started to show up in that same space. They occupied the same space, but in a different wavelength kind of thing. So
Hmm.
sometimes it was these green anoles, sometimes it was these house geckos that looked really kind of cool with their skin and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't
But
seen one of those in a while.
yeah, so I'm kind of learning to, give myself permission to use this as like a canvas to study what would come to the window, but not get to me.
Okay, yeah,
So
I see.
I don't know. It was interesting to kind of work through some of the not limiting beliefs, but things we tell ourselves, like, and I get with what you're sharing. It just, that was a more physical, tangible. And the irony was I was in therapy the day that started to happen. So, mid therapy call, I was like, but funny enough, like over the next 2 weeks, I got macro photography of it. I got video of it. I got all these other animals I saw come through the frame, and I got a kids book idea from it too. Just got to do the thing when it comes time to that someday. So,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those Ryan Holiday turn obstacles into opportunities and do it in a way that isn't detrimental or risk to security or whatever. So in my case, it's like, oh well, I have foam at the top. It can't just crawl in, so there's that risk to security. But then AI and data earlier, that kind of risk to security. So it really
Yeah,
depends.
no, there you go. And that again, that correlates back to what I was saying. You shift the power balance
Hmm.
now that so you've taken the power from the spider and you're in control now. So now look at all of those ideas and stuff you're getting from just you noticing the spider on the other side of the window while you were on your therapy call. So now the question is, if you wasn't on your therapy call, would you have noticed the spider?
I mean, that's a good question. I know our friend on LinkedIn, Aka Williams, she's saying that's really scary and or that's scary. And yeah, I thought it was too up until I got the foam in the window. And I
Mm.
think that like knowing that it couldn't just make itself at fully at home inside my home, um, it kind of dropped that limiting belief layer a little bit and gave me that confidence layer. Like, okay, I know there are no gaps. Therefore, I can walk right up to it. And I'm like, oh, I have a 50 megapixel camera with cinematic. Like, why am I not getting some stills of this? And it's like, okay, cool. It's not going to land on me. It's not going to hurt me. I've been in the literal rainforest before. So let's kind of get over this in a way and learn to just be present with it. So you notice the lamp in the first pictures I showed. Yeah, I mean, night one, because the AC is below it, I don't want to poison things. Even if I could, here's a funny little sidebar. I asked ChatGPT about the situation. No, I asked Copilot, doesn't matter, but I asked Copilot about the situation. And it said, yeah, no, don't do that. I was like, I wasn't gonna, and I bet I know why, but go ahead and tell me why you recommend not. And I was exactly right, not to toot my own horn. When you spray poison, which I wouldn't recommend generally anyway, it aerosolizes. And what's right beneath that spider is an area where that would not only aerosolize, but continue dripping and then enter into my breathing space because it goes into the air unit. So it's like, the perfect storm of how to kill yourself or get a neurotoxin, essentially. And I'm like at the ready to spray this thing. And then I'm just like, yeah, I think I'll wait.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. So these people that are jumping on and asking life-saving questions to AI, it's like, oh boy, good luck. Don't eat the wrong mushroom kind of thing,
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking. Yeah, no, and then also,
and without getting too meta, I know in the other live you were mentioning, like psychonauts and people who take psychedelic mushrooms, and you were sharing your experience in that world, and it's interesting how like the people I've talked to, me not having gone through that experience, they say that empathy is a big layer of it, and just learning to be more connected with your environment off of that experience is like kind of one of the takeaways many people can get. So like, I don't know, I'm not saying it's the equivalent, but I kind of feel like I had a renaissance time with that animal over the course of those 3 weeks. And I eventually went from literally sleeping with that 1,000 lumen light on the first night and putting a mask on. I'm like, I'll just sleep with the light on. I can just sleep better. To like the end of the month, it was a red light, and then by the end, or mid-month, and then by the end of the month, I just turned the light off because I was like, I know there's foam in the window. I know it's not going to get to me, and actually, it's gone now, so it probably just like left. So,
yeah, no. I would say yes. The people you talk to about psychedelic trips are correct, with empathy and the connection. But then again, for me, on the connection side, as a child, I quickly realized and understood that everyone on the planet is connected. That everything on the planet is connected. And all the shrooms did for me was just heighten that experience. And now this may sound weird, and it also allowed me to see the threads of how everything connected to one another.
It gets you out of your own head in
Yes,
its own way. So
yes, exactly, and also with the research that I've done before I started doing shrooms and stuff, I didn't know that psychedelic shrooms switches off part of your brain. I thought it turned on all of your brain. No, it switches off part of your brain. And that's fascinating information. And it makes me wonder, why does that part of our brain need to be on all the time?
Some of the words you're saying that jump out to me are kind of like some of the ways you've helped the world in your expertise and your lived experience in the sense of this. So colorblindness, for example, or deafness, for my case, for example, like that's already switched off in most people's brains because they're these invisible things that rule the world. Like Andy J. Pizza from Creative Pep Talk podcast. He did a kid's book, and I'm drawing a blank because the captions aren't live right now, and I forgot what I just said. But anyway, Invisible Things. He did a kid's book called Invisible Things, and it was about like feelings and and I don't know, things that don't have, kind of like some of these words from like Japan or Germany or other parts of the world where there aren't words for that in English,
Yes,
but it often describes a feeling, you know.
yes. I know exactly like what you're talking about. I've had a discussion about non. See, the thing is not is not a word.
Well, I think what
So
you and I do is we're activators. So, like, whether
yes,
it's for me for deaf blindness, for you for color contrast and inclusion, like in a weird way, we're almost, and I know mushrooms are the closest genetic thing related to humans, even more so than other things. So it's interesting because, like, we're able to, do this directive that we knew we could do before, but like you were saying, you have to kind of get out of your way. You have to come
mhm,
to acceptance. You have to move through how you show up in the world or how you move through the patterns you bump into. Are they patterns or are they problems? So,
yes, exactly. That's it's exactly. And I'll tell you this: since my shrooms experience over the months, now I approach problems and difficulties in my life from a different perspective than how I normally would. So, for example, if I've had a bad week, I don't beat myself up about it anymore. Or if I forget to post something or do something within my business that's supposed to do that week, I don't beat myself up about it anymore. I just ask myself this question: was I supposed to do that thing this week? And then when I really want to um, get myself thinking, it's like, if I did that thing this week, what outcome would I have by the end of the week? Would it have changed my outcome at the end of the week? So,
your first question flip too,
hmm,
is what I want to happen this week meant to occur versus am I meant to do it, I guess,
mhm.
like maybe the universe isn't ready for it yet kind of thing. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So it's all about, yeah, again, it's all about the universe and again, pattern recognition, what the universe has in store for you. Are you living up to the universe expectation of yourself type thing? So yeah, it's all interesting, but I highly recommend, when you're feeling brave enough, to dip it dip your pinky toe into the world of psychedelic shrooms. It will be, again, I'm not going to go into detail on my trips because I don't want to precede
Oh, for
your
sure.
expectations, because
Well,
that,
just you saying that tells me that you know enough about the process of it versus pop culture and how
yeah,
it can often paint a picture about it.
exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for anyone who's going to who's listening to this live or is going to listen to the replay and who's thinking about psychedelic shrooms, please,
obviously, don't do them if you're in a place they're illegal.
yeah, exactly that as well.
But
But
then besides that, dot,
yeah,
dot, dot,
yeah.
just
But
like,
besides that, please do your research and do not use AI for your research. Actually,
yeah.
read a book, um, learn about the different psychedelic mushrooms and the type of experience that each one gives you. And also, when you do decide to go down that rabbit hole, you have to mentally prepare yourself for it. That is the
Mm-hmm.
key factor. You have to mentally, because it makes no sense if it's a Friday, you've had a crappy week, your boss has been giving you all the really difficult clients to deal with all week. Clients are not liking any of your ideas whatsoever. You've been pouring your heart and soul and tears into your ideas, and the client is like, nope, Nope. Chat GPT can do it better. Nope. 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 Yeah. And come Friday night now, you want to do some mushrooms? I would highly recommend. No, you have to be in a peaceful state of, or at least in a relaxed state of mind, because all the mushroom does, it enhances the stuff that's currently in your psyche and in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to see any monsters, and bear in mind there is no monsters in the shrooms world, it's just your ego. It's just your ego. And yes, your ego is scary, but it's fun.
That's all the inner work you get to do, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's fun. It all I can't remember the exact saying that I heard on Instagram. It's, what was it? That it's easier to live your life in a lie, because once you start living a life in truth, life becomes difficult.
Mm.
So it's easier to lie to yourself that, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, but my face isn't fire. It doesn't matter. This is fun. But then once you accept and acknowledge, oh, my face is on fire, and you need to get medical help for that, that's when your life starts to become difficult, because you call the thing a thing and you shift the power balance back in your hands and you are in control.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's fun in shrooms. Well, everything's all colorful.
Also, it's fun. What? Can you repeat?
It's fun in the shrooms world, because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because for me everything is all colorful and
Mm-hmm.
vibrant. And
Speaking of which, actually, real quick, I know you're not in the shrooms world right now, but um, I was gonna change up the background of this for a future stream. Like, I know we had the green like this. It's kind of a minty blue to
okay, yeah,
purple on the right. And then I was looking at Canva and they have like all these gradients over here on the left. Like, this is a deep purple to pink to orange to yellow. And then there's a couple other ones, like this is a black to peach to orange to yellow. I didn't know if one of those, for future ref or whatever, like this black to blue to teal to orange, or black to purple to pink to fuchsia, like maybe those would work better for standing out in terms of the actual, like the studio view like this. And just figured I'd mention it since you're a color expert and I had you on now. So anyway,
um
this is pretty neutral, and I didn't know if a harder warm color would kind of pop us out of the feed for future ref. So
I don't know, it depends. It's because, again, what's this? Hang on, let me go back to the thing. So this is class as a fireside chat.
so you're thinking thematically? Yeah, I just meant literally.
Yeah.
Like if it's hard for us to see each other right now, like do the squares pop off the background enough and stuff? Or I don't know.
It's okay. It's just that your background is kind of similar to the colored
That's
background.
what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I guess that was the part I was trying to figure out. But yeah, I think that's the part I couldn't describe, but knew was affecting
Okay.
it. So, and I can change the color above my head to anything, but I found blue works best for like popping me off the background. So I'm thinking if I make
Yeah,
it more
yeah, yeah, yeah.
warm,
But other than that, no. Hang on. Let me maximize the screen to see.
yeah. Here, I'm gonna upload this and swap it real quick just to do a quick test before we close. But
It seems fine.
yeah, because I'm thinking like I know a lot of people use there. I know they use more like this. And then like when you're scrolling, it really stops the scroll. So even right now
Okay.
though, it's still got that purple on purple. So I get what you're saying about it possibly being too similar for that current layout. So I could always switch the spots, or I could do a more bold background. Yeah, I was just keen to check it out. There's a bright green one too. Just thinking what would stop people for what's around our faces as they're scrolling, because it's like
Well,
That's half the
Exactly.
battle. So
If you can figure that out, then you will become a millionaire. Okay.
yeah, just that easy, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you can figure out what colors stop people from scrolling, and you can
hmm
monetize that, then yes, you will have a very good life. But at the moment, it's an unknown because
Sure, but
today
it's
could be
doesn't look
purple, tomorrow could be
inaccessible
red.
for today's, at least, is
Mhm.
my goal. So, like, does it feel pretty, contrast enough for what it was, or like for this one for today compared to? I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that is too distracting, not having a border.
Okay.
And I think that's too much border, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
And then
No.
I
I
think
agree with you. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
circle thing's more of a gimmick. That's why I was leaning towards this one from like an accessibility standpoint. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can pair that with a stronger background color.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll try these last two before we hop off. So there's this green gradient, hang tight. So there's that one, like dark green to canary yellow. And then that'll contrast what's behind me better, is my thinking. And then there's a
Yes,
plain
it
green
does.
gradient, which I'm going to see. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just kind of having a play. I'm going to do this a lot more often. Oh, I kind of like that. That really pops
Okay.
off. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That
it's
works.
dark at the
That works.
top and the brightness at the bottom kind of
Um,
stops, whatever you're thinking through. So it does look kind of lizard, though, like I don't want us to look like it's the lizard live stream. So, but yeah, I agree with you about the purple on purple for this being a harder clash. So,
yeah.
interesting. I don't think I've seen anybody do this kind of reptilian green, and the irony is I'm rehabilitating a green anole lizard, so kind of vibes.
Hey.
Oh, we have a live chat, Solar said a while ago. What are we doing here? 4 so 1 minute ago. Yeah, so hey Solar, welcome. We're multi-streaming. Doesn't look like you're still here anymore, which is fine. But we've been talking about a lot of different things. So just a short little recap. Kevin and I talked about our lived experiences with technology and how we can do a big mix of things from overthink to underthink and perfectionize and all that jazz. So, a little bit of other stuff too. But oh, you're still here. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it shows a 0. That's why I'm now it shows 1 on Facebook. Nice. Well, it's good to see you, Solar. Yeah, I'm gonna start streaming a lot more often, Solar. So I'll be doing this probably at least 3 times a week. I streamed earlier today too. And I think it's just going to be a good way for me to get over my perfectionism and kind of build in public a bit and catch up with people as I go versus being in my own head and being a hermit. So, but yeah. Kevin, quick question before we close out soon. Have you messed with Notebook LM at all?
No. No, I
Okay.
haven't.
Do you mind if I show you a quick demo? Because I get a lot of
Yeah.
questions about it, and
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah.
need to
That's
make a YouTube
fine.
video
That's
about it.
fine. I
So,
just haven't. I haven't had the. It's. It's moved down in priority on my never-ending to-do list.
oh, I totally get that.
Yes. Yes. So
Um,
at some point this year, I will try Notebook LM, but I am having
I bet this is
so
going to
much
move it up
fun.
for you.
Yeah. Now, at
So
the
if
moment, I am having so much fun with Notion and Notion AI, and now that they finally made the Notion agent,
mhm.
they've opened the beta now. So because I'm tick that box, so now I'm beta testing
Oh,
the
nice.
Notion agent. I'll be doing that over the weekend, but the videos I've seen so far, yeah, it's going to increase my Notion game.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Let's get. Oh, it's so small. Why is it so small? Hang tight. Oh, because I have to make it bigger. That makes sense. Okay, we'll get there eventually. So yeah, let me just move us to the upper middle real quick. And I'm going to do a dedicated video on this, but I figured I'd just show you around real quick. So earlier, Kevin joined me for my other live stream. Solar asked, what tool are you using for live? I'm using wave.video, Solar. So one of those good old lifetime deals that I am terrible about not using. Finally putting it to use. So thanks for asking. But I would, and good point about matching the branding solar. That's a good point about the color. I'll definitely keep that in mind. So quick ref, we're on notebooklm.google.com. You can go there regardless of if you have a pro account. I have a pro account. I don't have an ultra account. And then what I typically do is I record every call with consent, obviously. And then when the call's over, I get a transcript of it, which we're going to go to get first. Over here on, I use one called MeetGeek. If I can spell today, holy smokes. And it should be still showing my screen. I didn't know if it was just that tab or not, but let me know.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's still showing your screen.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I come into the meeting. It has just the audio because it was like 2 GB of video, and then it has all these different speaker names. So the first thing I do, this is me, I think. Yeah, this is me. So I'm gonna say Matt Cicanese.
Oh, so you can name, right? Okay.
Yeah, so this is called diarization, and yeah, it's naming conventions for individual speakers, and then I'll go through and I'll say make all of them Matt, and now that's fixed. And then I'll go to Lauren's real quick, and I'll do the same for her. And now I can toggle that on. I'll say Lauren, and then new speaker. Now all those are Lauren, and then I think yours is gonna be. There we go. I can relate to Lauren. I think this was you. Let's double check.
What time that was? No, I think I was I think I came in a little bit later, like 25, like 20 minutes in, I think, maybe.
Oh, that's Shannon. Yeah, that was that other individual. Okay. So I'm going to say change all to Shannon. And then, yeah, you were a little up there. You are now. Almost. Speaker 4. You talked for a good chunk at one point, so I'm just looking for that chunk. Here we go. I think this is you. Yep, that's you. Okay, cool. So now we'll go change all, and we'll say Kevin Roberts. Okay, and then switch. All right, so now those are done. I typically give it a couple seconds so it can like make sure it populates. And then I say download, and we say document. And now we're gonna open that Word doc. And then we're gonna enable editing. I'm gonna take out all this metadata at the beginning because it doesn't really matter. I wanted live stream in there. There we go. And then we're gonna save it. You don't have to save it as a PDF. I don't think it works better if you save it as a PDF versus others. But in the past, Google wouldn't let you upload anything but PDFs. So for the longest time, I was in the habit of doing that. But now we'll take the updated file, drop it in, and it comes over here to sources on the left. It'll automatically churn through that source and give an overall summary of all the sources up to 300 in the middle. It does this weird thing where you have to refresh it after before it shows what title it made and stuff. But then you can click an individual source on the left, and then it'll show you like a summary after it churns. So here's the summary for it, and then here's the full transcript. And over here in the middle is the summary of all the sources, if there were a list of them, and then the ability to chat. So you'll notice it has 3 suggested questions that I just accidentally clicked, and it will only use the source data. It doesn't hallucinate. So that's the really nice part about this. And when I start using it for the doing side, I can say, even just right here, like write the reply email that I needed to write, and I'll use voice to text to say that versus typing it. But I digress. Here's what I do. You pull in the transcript on the left, and then it churns it. When it's done churning it, you don't have to use the chat thing like I just did. I come over here, and these are the steps I do. I just click infographic because it already has a medium setting, like horizontal and medium detail. So I just click that one versus going into the settings. Same for slide deck. I just click it versus trying to get it super duper set up. But you can say only focus on Matthew for these parts and make his progress guide down here, and it'll only make the output on that. Same for audio overview. That'll essentially make like a 14-minute podcast between two AI voices that do a pretty good, half-decent job, and you can like go for a walk and listen to a recap about your meeting, or debate or whatever. And then reports is the other huge one I use a lot. I don't really use data table, mind map, and video overview or flashcards and quiz. They're good, but they're good for specific stuff. See how these are churning? It's literally, it just made these up from scratch based on the list of sources. So from that list aggregated, it thinks a workplace wellness framework. So I'm going to click that, and now it's churning on that. And then it has the other from before. So executive coaching analysis, concept guide, self-reg strategy tool. Let's click that one next. You'll notice they're all going to take a while. The slideshows and the audio take the longest. Infographic takes the second longest. Reports are second quickest. Mind map's the quickest. Because you can't control mind map, you just click it and go. So, but the other two reports, we'll do the concept one. And then maybe we'll do create your own, voice to text, create a workbook for the participants of this session to answer Socratic strategic questions to help them apply the concepts that we learned together. And then that's voice to text. I say generate, and it saves the prompt when it's done. And now it should almost be done with a couple of these, then I can show you. But in the meantime, you can ask chat questions and save those too if there's like insight that you get here that you couldn't over there. Like a lot of times I'll do a report and I'll say, put together all the communication outreach I said I was going to do, put the person who they need to reach out to in a sample email template with the best recommended outreach. And then I would run that one. And then one of these reports is going to be like, here's all the stuff you need to send to people. But infographics done. So that took a couple minutes. But if we look into infographic, this is like all the major concepts we talked about as a group earlier. So it's really cool to me because it does a half decent job. Doesn't always get the spelling right on everything, but I don't know, better than nothing. So yeah, exploring how ADHD. I mean, they get all that right. I don't see any immediate typos there. And then it made this spiral of a tornado with like sensory schedules, semantic systems, red flag. Yeah, I mean, it did a pretty good job getting the nuance of what we talked about. Management and recovery is like dopamine menu, like what Lauren covered. Reflective versus reactive. Conscious unmasking. And, it didn't get the eyes perfect on that thing and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It gets the idea across. So. And then for the others, because they're probably done cooking a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. So the reports are ready. See the icons? But then the audio and the slideshow are still cooking. So I'm going to do a quick refresh on LinkedIn, make sure we don't have any straggler comments because those don't pipe through the live stream thing yet. And looks like we're good. So if we do like this one, what was the prompt for this one? See triple dot, show prompt. Is structured framework. Oh, so it wrote that out. This is one of the ones it suggested. So this is structured framework for, managers that can use with their neurodivergent employees. So yeah, this is like a full-blown resource that it made from our combo. But point being this, see all the numbers? That one sentence is double-sided. Like it's cited in two places. And it literally points you to the transcript when you hover over it. So there's no wondering whether or not what it says is what you said. So you can use this for anything. I actually use Notebook a lot for like market research and stuff because now you can like add sources by searching the web. But I've found the best outcome is by using your own data and using the platform for that kind of thing,
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it just depends on the goal and how comfortable people are using the tech. And I have a big carpenter ant on me. Hang tight. Welcome to Florida. Really, dude? I'm trying not to kill it, and it keeps doing everything to get in my way. I like ants. So. Anyhow,
Yeah, no.
Squirrel brain,
This is
sorry.
good. Um,
Hey, the slideshow's ready.
yeah, no. I'm just
Almost. Anyway.
thinking. I'm just trying to think when would using Notebook LM be useful for me.
Yeah. What's your typical week? Do you have a lot of meetings and stuff?
Not at the moment. No, no. At the moment, no. Well, at the moment, yes, because I'm finishing up my beta testing.
Mhm.
But once that's done, no, until
If
I
you're
start.
beta testing something, I'd definitely say use it for gap analysis. Like, say, what have I not covered, and where am I not thinking, or what patterns are beneath the patterns. I've literally told it that before. I say, look at all the patterns here, look at the ones I've identified and talked about, and then look at the ones that I haven't identified because they're so subtle and they're between other patterns, that kind of thing, you
Mhm.
know? So if I were you and you're not in a public mode of doing whatever publicly, like, webinars or product you're selling, so use it as internal or use it as competitor or market analysis kind of thing, So like internals like gap analysis or comparative analysis. And I need to make videos on each of these, wink, wink. But my goal is to essentially show people how I'm using it a ton because I pretty much use that, develop the documentation I need, and then go do the thing after. So it kind of is a good, like, it's closing the gap in a lot of ways for stuff. Hey Solar, I do actually have a second monitor. I'm so old school when it comes to learning like how to live stream and stuff effectively. So maybe you could show me some ropes at some point. But let's see real quick. I have a feeling the other one's ready, and then we can probably close out for today. Um, Dang, it's still working on that slide deck, but I'll give it a refresh because sometimes it's done and it doesn't say it's done. So a couple other reports, like here's the dopamine menu thing it made from all Lauren's talks about that. And if you like what this is and you wanted it somewhere besides just on your clipboard, now it lets you do, oh, where'd it go? Maybe in the list like this. Yeah, now you can export to Docs or you can export to
Ooh,
Google Sheets right
okay.
from what it makes. So like here's the workbook. Core philosophy is this, and module one, taxonomy of overwhelm, these four buckets. So yeah, I mean, essentially, you could take something like this and then go into Canva and then use the findings from the beta or the gaps or the gains or whatever and turn it into a literal lead magnet. Um, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I don't want to show it yet. There's a site that I've almost launched, but point being, I took kind of an equivalent like just info brain dump with myself and I put it in here and then I made a lead magnet out of it, like a checklist or a guide or whatever.
Okay. Okay.
And I did the thing. I was like, oh dang, I actually did it. Normally it's just like maybe I'll do that one day. You see it's still working on
Yeah.
the slides and the power and the podcast. So that's what I mean about click those first because they're gonna take forever and then you can do the other ones in between. So
Yeah. No. No. This is very good. It's very useful.
it
But
does
like,
stop you. Like I've tried to do 6 podcasts and it's like, hey, you've hit your quota for the day unless you sign up for Ultra. So like, don't go ham on just clicking infographic or slide deck because it knows that that's what people want. Here we go. It just made the slide deck. So, um, I mean, and again, it's not going to replace a slide designer because I have friends who do that professionally, but it is going to close the gap on sharing our ideas easier and with less friction if they're accurate.
yeah. No. I'm liking the infographics it's using.
Me too, because this is stuff we literally talked about. Pots boiling over on the stove, the different four S's that I mentioned today, but I didn't call it the four S's of stress, but I hinted at that and it picked up on it. So it's like there's ways that we can show up and if we ask questions the right way after, we can really truly just be present like this live stream and not overthink how am I going to make content out of this. It's like no, the patterns are already there. Just show up and don't, just be authentic, be yourself, be genuine, and the right patterns are going to emerge. So, oh, that's funny. It even made a 3-dimensional salmon philosophy. That's crazy. Interesting.
Mm.
It got the arrows the wrong way, in a way. Maybe it didn't, and I'm not interpreting it right yet. Yeah, I think the arrows might be backwards, but see, this is
Yeah.
where you could go into Nano Banana and you could say change the direction of all the arrows in the water to be the other way, and it would do it right. That's the crazy part. So, um, I've never made any of these slides. Everything we're seeing together is literally new material from the actual conversation. So, again, not seeing any major typos. The slide deck one does a really good job these days. Would I pick a different background design? Yeah, but I hear that there's more granularity to that coming. Like with the video module, you can say, give me a whiteboard style or give me this, you know. And with this, you can just give it direction, but you can't like give it exact. So,
Mhm. Okay, yeah.
but that's crazy to go from like having a conversation to having something tangibly shareable. Here's the
Yeah.
string metaphor you shared.
Yeah. Yep. Cutting strings are always harder. I don't know. Yes, on this protocol. Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's giving me more hope for showing up to do the thing when I've
Yeah, I
always
mean,
overthought everything in the past. So
yeah, no, it's good. I mean, look, even if you redesign the slideshow, it is a very good start of giving you an idea of how to construct a slideshow.
yeah. Well, I like Solar's thought too. It's like it could be a low ticket offer that brings really high value, which isn't what I'm thinking through initially, but I am so bad about that feast famine cycle where we're our own worst detriment for
Mm.
doing things in between those big things we do. And maybe this could be a way to, yeah, like here's how we think through these processes and practices kind of thing. So.
Yes, I know exactly. Because again, it's not so much as monetization per se. It's trying to figure out what to monetize.
Yeah, Daniel Priestley, the author and entrepreneur, he talks a lot about like brandable assets, like
Mm-hmm.
the ecosystem of IP more than can you make money on it, but like does it talk to the other bubbles of what you're talking about? And then the money part's an extra. Like cool,
Yes,
great,
exactly.
which I'd still love to figure out. So I think they're both valid sides of the coin, so to speak. So
Yeah, no, but again, Notebook LM is it's good. Yeah, so like from what you just showed me there,
mhm. But then like prototyping because I am really bad about getting stuff off the ground and now with Google AI Studio and Bolt, like this website exists that didn't exist and it functions. Like if you go to work with me and you say inquire about training, the lower left there, it says it's a mail to with a subject training inquiry. Like it's already gotten them halfway to booking me. And it
mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be a super sexy, fancy thing, but it's still clean, functions, and looks good on mobile. And I built this from literal scratch. So whether it's
Good.
them learning about the service or having me on a podcast is something I did recently. I think one of our viewers from this live session now might still be with us, but this was what Deline said about having me on. So it's like, she's like, you should go sit on another podcast. I can actually do that when I have somewhere to point people to learn about the work. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's a press kit where you don't have to ask me 10 times because I'll forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's just here's the short bio, long bio, what I've done, where I've been, whatever. Point being this, like, I had nothing and I literally was sitting on a WordPress that was dead for a year and a half. And I thought there's got to be something to crack the crust to start on progress and move
Yeah.
that needle a little bit. So I think even if that's all it does, quote, all it does, that still leaps and bounds if people can learn I call it the language of logic because like
Mm-hmm.
photography is a language of light. And I think that effective communication is a language of, learning in a way because like we have to learn how each other moves through the world and then how we effectively use technology as a language of logic. It's like, are you asking the right question? Are you
Yeah.
are you using the right data set? are you putting up guardrails and putting up limitations? Because that will get you closer to the goal and filter what you're hoping to filter, not by giving it a million more things, but by taking some things away and using your expertise and your lived experience. So.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah, no, you seem to be. Hang on.
Got to get out of my own way, right?
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, let me just think for a second to make sure
Yeah,
I
you're good.
articulate the right words for you. No, you seem to have all of the right tools. You seem to understand what each tool is useful for in terms of what you want out of that tool. So that's good. So now it's just a case of you learning how to run a business with everything that you have right now.
Yeah,
That's
this is the case where I preach automation, but I don't have much actually implemented
mm,
in a way that would drive my business forward, but not overwhelm it. It would be only working with the ideal cluster and ways I would help them or whatever. So,
yeah.
um,
So it sounds
yeah,
like it's time for you to become your first client. Really?
I think that's kind of what I've done since last November was kind of
Mm,
shut out the meetings and the rest of the world. And it's like, what does it look like when I get my stuff together in a way that it feels like I'm showing up for myself too, and not only showing up for others or whatever
mhm.
the framing of it is internally. So
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So it looks like me and you are like in the same area, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so
So
too. And we
so
both like
yeah,
video games. Like, come on, what's better than that? So.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No. All I would say is just continue doing what you're doing and just make more steps.
hmm
No, sorry. Take more steps.
I
And just
can't find
remember.
it immediately, but I love Minecraft, and there's this comic of somebody digging and digging and digging like a two-dimensional, and they're
Mhm,
like a foot from a whole sea of diamonds or gold or whatever, but then they turn around and leave the mine. So it's like I that's
exactly.
kind of where I'm at. And Ilya, my friend Ilya, jokes that I'm a dragon sleeping on gold. So he's like,
Yeah.
"Wake up, share the gold."
Exactly. Yeah. No. Again, yeah. He's right. That's a really nice analogy. Yeah. Exactly. And the same thing for me as well, because
hmm
once I've finished my betas and I've launched to the public and start advertising my services more, I don't know what kind of clients I would get. At the
hmm
moment, will be launching based on the clients that's in my betas right now. And
hmm
then once I launch, I can get totally different clients. I don't know like what would happen. So I
Yeah.
don't yeah, so again
Well,
I
depending
am
on what you're launching, I know you might not be ready to share yet, but I'd highly recommend looking into wait lists and scorecard surveys because then you can be like, are you potentially interested? That's what I'm doing. Are you
mm,
potentially interested in this thing that I haven't made yet? Join the wait list. Oh, well, 100 people join this wait list. I guess I'll build the thing, is how Daniel Priestley teaches it. But in order to get on the wait list, you answer 5 to 10 questions, and then you have data that you can build the thing off of. Like, oh, they really want
I
this
see.
feature, or they really want this pain point solved, or ooh, I can use the average of these 10 questions and make a case study once I get 100 people or whatever. So, or 50,
Yeah,
like I talked to 50 people, and this is people have these pain points for the people I serve, and this is how I'm going to solve them through these ways. By the way, here's my
yeah,
services.
okay,
So
I see.
but
I
then it
see.
filters out the people that don't qualify. So it's like,
Yeah,
how soon do you need to do this? Oh, 6 months or I don't know. Okay, here's some resources. Have a great day. How soon do you need to do this? Within the next month. Okay, book a call here for 15 minutes. It filters. And I think that's
yeah,
been my big challenge in the past is like you have the hour call and then they have zero budget. Or you have the hour call and they've successfully picked your brain and gotten free expertise and never sign with you because they realize they probably have good enough
yeah,
information.
yeah,
And that good enough to move on isn't the right kind of good enough to move on. So anyway.
yeah. I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, no. For me, I am again, like I said, I have my framework, so I am beta testing and getting real world examples of if my framework will work or not.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, it's all positive. So once they've gone through the cycle of the framework, and yeah, and they're happy with their results, they see a movement and their needle and their business on their end, then I will package it up nicely, put a nice big bow on it, and present it to the public and wait for people to come to me or start attracting people to come to me. So yeah, so like I said, we are like in we are in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm more on the get it good enough to move on rather than perfectionist. That's where I would say that I have 70% control over my perfectionist side right now. So
But you have awareness over the fact that it has a percent of control versus
yes.
refusing to accept that it has a percent of control or refusing it exists altogether. So,
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I know.
well, I
I'm
mean, the
more.
average person probably could do that in many situations. Like, I don't have that problem. Nah,
Okay.
1 out of 10 problem. It's like, no, that's 30% of the problem, mate. Cut the pie into 3 pieces. That's a third of the pie.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So now that right, so I make myself aware that I'm a perfectionist. I've called the thing a thing, so now it has a name. So now it's me taking control of that thing now. So then I can know when I need to turn it on and turn it off.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's why I used that's why I said 70% because I know that I am not in full control of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I will ever be because I'm a shiny object chaser and I like chasing new shiny things.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, I've gotten that under control now. It's been a while since I've chased something new and shiny. All new and shiny things I'm chasing now evolves around my business and my lifestyle. Anything to help,
Good. Yeah,
anything to
I
help
keep
with
my
my heavy
shiny.
lifting stuff.
Oh, sorry. Anything what?
No, like anything to help with the heavy lifting stuff.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I
For my
keep my shiny
life.
object brain to like you said, personal development or yeah, processes we could improve and stuff like that because it used to be very learning based, like, oh, I'm gonna
Mhm.
take another course, which there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But I wrote down earlier in our session from this, I said, let me find it. Here it is. I said learning without action is like a tractor without traction. You can't sow the seeds in order to do the deeds if the tractor is
Mhm.
just kind of spinning in the mud.
Mhm.
So, and that was me a lot. I'd learn without traction. I'd learn so much and I'd never put it into action. And then I'd be like, well, that didn't work, which I think is most people. Was it like less than 10% of asynchronous e-course participants or learners complete a course, any given course? So it's like when 1 out of 10 people is doing the work asynchronously versus like 8 out of 10 in a live workshop, or, a lot of this is coming back to being present and people wanting live, genuine interaction versus just like, go do these 12 hours of content I recorded and charged you X amount for, which nobody's going to be able to digest that much anyway. So.
I know exactly.
I mean, that certification I'm studying for is open book, but even then, I'm still like, wow, this is like 40 credit hours worth of different topics. And even though it's open book, it still feels really daunting for next week. So I don't know. My friends say I'll do fine who have taken it before, and I need to just quit overthinking it.
Okay. Yeah. No.
So what game are you going to play tonight? You going to play Overwatch, you said?
Um. I don't know what's on my Steam list. I'll probably. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
You
I'll need to decompress from this conversation first.
damn.
And
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
say use
yeah.
the combo to decide, like it's funny, I'll often ask Google AI Studio to make a personality assessment
Mm,
between three software I'm trying to decide on, or three plans within one software, or what task I should do next. I literally will make an assessment for that and I'll take it and then it'll show a radar chart and be like, this is why you should do that thing next or that decision. And I'm like, oh, cool. Just calculated it by answering questions, I guess. So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'll see. I will see. Because again, I still got some YouTube videos I need to watch first.
Mm-hmm.
I need to check on my mom, see what she's doing. Because she was having a nap earlier, even though I don't know. I keep telling her doesn't make sense having a nap at 8 p.m. at night time because now it's
Mm-hmm.
11 p.m. and she's up because she's switched the heating on. So now she's up. So I need
Quick
to
bit
find out.
that popped off in my head. You should do someday. You should do a vlog like Casey Neistat, day in the life, at least once. But here's what I'm thinking.
Mm.
It'd be really cool if we could get our hands on a pair of Meta glasses for you someday, and then have somebody like hack the software to, because I used to mess with webcams when I was a kid, like a wee little tyke, and I was trying to remove the infrared filter because you could see like plant veins on leaves and stuff. I'm such a
Mm.
freaking nerd. Anyway, I feel like you could either through software or hardware physically adapt that camera, or at least a GoPro or something, and have a day in the life where the whole world, if you wanted them to, could see it through like a filter that we apply to give them something closer to how you experience the world. Because people see all these first person videos of like making dinner and stuff, but like they don't see Kevin deciding between two spices when we might use color as an indicator of what spice we pick, and you might
Mm.
do something completely different, like, I don't know. But that's what I mean, is like
Okay,
you
I
could
see.
probably
Yeah.
have a lot of these little day in the life moments, maybe tie them to your beta if it made sense to, but it doesn't have to. Like one of the projects I'm doing has nothing to do with what I do for corporate. But then when I told AI that, it said, "Oh, perfect. That's going to show your human side. Just share it on occasion." And it was like, don't mix the corporate stuff with it. Just do the human thing and share the human thing. So anyway,
Yeah,
I'm rambling.
that's no. That's interesting because I have thought about it, but again, I will. I
I
have.
mean, I'm not a fan of generative media as much unless it's concept art or infographics or teaching material. But I almost think you could have some, so like C Dance and Google Gemini video creation, stuff like that. You
Mm.
could have, I don't know, I'll test this over the weekend maybe, but I'll say, like, can you please create a simulated version of red green color blindness? And then I'll look at it comparatively since I have full spectrum vision, or full human spectrum vision. I'm not a mantis shrimp. I can't see every color. And but here's what I'm thinking. I don't know. I almost feel like you could almost gamify it in a way at times. Like there's a lot of point and click games. This could just be a fun sidebar thing you do. Where I have a friend who's legally blind, and he said he has a goggle set that he has people put on to like learn the different types of blindness. So maybe there's a virtual equivalent you could do with that, with gamification and color blindness or something someday. Anyway, we should have a book. It'd be fun. So, like Where's Waldo So You Can Find. There's a game called Two Dots, or it's just called Dots.
Yeah.
And you connect 4 colored dots, realizing you couldn't even play the base level of that game because of that, because I don't think they have colorblind setting where it would change to shapes or textures or whatever. But where I'm going with this is they recently released a version of that game within the game that's like Where's Waldo, and it's really hard because there's so many overlapping lines and colors. And anyway,
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
It almost
no.
makes me want to reach out to them as a
It
company,
sounds
like us reach out
interesting.
and be like, "Hey, can you make a version of the Seek and Find branch in like the world of these different types of colorblindness just for awareness?" And they might be like, "Yeah, that sounds really fun." So I don't know.
Yeah, no. That sounds very interesting because there's a game. Hang on, I'm trying to find the name of it. It's called Puzzle Fighter.
Mm,
And it's a Street Fighter game. You have your Street Fighter characters in the middle, and on each side is the Tetris blocks, but it's all color coordinated, and you got to
mm-hmm.
build up the blocks. Basically, the bigger block you build up before you pop it, the more combos the character does on its own. And
Oh, got
again,
it.
so it's a fighting game with a thing, yeah. It's a nice concept of it, but
Got it.
it's a tough game for me to play. because
Yeah, no, that makes
you don't have
sense.
a colorblind option. So depending on, and again, the bits on the side where the blocks fall down, it's transparent. So if the
Mm-hmm.
background is busy,
Yeah.
the
And
blocks
that's
are
all the seek
small.
and find thing I mentioned. Well, it's just a sea of busy, which is
Yeah,
why I was like, ooh, that'd be kind of a perfect example of busy on busy. But what you're saying would be a good example of the other.
yeah,
And hmm. Oh,
yeah.
one more thing. Have you seen the movie Hurt Locker? He's a bomb technician in like the Middle East. But that's kind of
Yes.
where I'm going with this is like you could almost have different modes of this little click and point game, and maybe like one of them is like, you know, a cake that's gonna explode icing everywhere if you don't cut the right wires. But the whole point would just be like, look, there's 6 wires and you have to cut the right one. Oh, you literally can't pick the right one because they're all in Kevin's vision mode or whatever.
Uh, yeah, it's
So,
like cut the green wire. They're all green. What do you mean?
it's like playing Minesweeper with rose-colored glasses on, even if you could see the red flags. So it's
Yes,
like, wait a
exactly.
minute.
Exactly that. That it is exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, no, all these are good concepts. But
Yeah, I'm just bunny trailing, having fun with it. But yeah, it's good that we think of interactive ways to, yeah.
yeah, no, that's good. I have thought about the day in the life, seeing the world through my eyes. I've definitely thought about that. That would be interesting. But again, that will have to wait.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like outsourced to someone kind of thing. So
yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
processing.
Because I'll have to set stuff up properly on my end. Yeah, because I have two screens, so two monitors. I do have split. What you call it? I do have split logins for my
Mm-hmm.
browser. So I have my left screen, which is this screen. It's my business. The right screen is all my personal stuff, and they all have over 100 tabs open on each.
Yep. Sounds about right. That's me right now. I was surprised I was able to stream today. I was like, oh my God, my computer's going to melt if I open one more window. And here I am opening
Exactly.
5 more
Yeah.
windows. So,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So like when I tell people, yeah, I've got 30. What have I got? I've got a 3050 with 32 gigs of RAM, but I need more
mhm.
RAM. Yeah, that's the reason why I need more RAM
Hey,
because
don't live stream that with your address. You'll get robbed, right? Because RAM's like gold. So, God, I got my RAM right before the big jump happened last year. And then after, I was like, oh, wow, I dodged that. So,
yeah, I should have some. I think I have two 8 gig RAM sticks somewhere. I need to find it. I need to look through those boxes behind me and
their
find them.
location isn't in your random access memory. So, you don't
No,
know
it's
where the
not.
extra RAM
It's not.
is,
It's
ironically.
somewhere.
So,
It's and I know exactly what's going to happen. I will wake up one day and I will come in the room and I will know
yeah,
exactly
because
which
that's
box
how
to
it
open
works,
and
right?
get the RAM stick from. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Cool, man.
yeah,
Well, I hope
no,
your weekend's chill and let me know as you
this has
go for
been
the beta
fun.
test stuff. Like, if you want to do a private chat, I'd love to learn more what you're like working on behind the scenes when you're ready to share. Let me know and we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
stress
yes.
test it. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, once my beta test is finished, I'll be able to have more room to have more meetings and stuff, and I will let you know.
that'd be cool.
And yeah, no, this Fireside chat has been good. Yeah, just
Yeah.
let me know when you want me on the next one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do these 2 or 3 times a week. So, anytime you
Yeah,
see a chat that's relevant, if you want to like hop in, I can send you the hop in link. Otherwise, leave some comments and stuff if you're busy and can't necessarily hop in.
yeah,
This has
yeah,
been fun.
yeah.
Good
No,
do good doing something versus not doing something. So
exactly. So, and again, we can't see the future, so we don't know what is the one thing that's
uh-oh. Did I lose you, Kevin? Oh no, he's frozen, guys. I'm gonna give it just 1 second and see if he comes back. Hopefully he'll be able to. Fairly new to this process, so bear with me. Looks like Kevin is still frozen. Let's see. I'll just give it one more minute. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody who was able to tune in this afternoon. Hope you found it useful conversation. And yeah, it looks like Kevin's still frozen. Otherwise, I'd bring him back in. Shoot. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for sitting on with me. This has been great. And I will reach out to you over DM after. I'm going to go ahead and close this out since it's all froze up on Kevin's side. And hope you guys can tune in next week. If you have any questions and would like me to cover specific things, just let me know.